Now, the procurement of the MQ-9B drones is not the only deal we are talking about. There's also a deal to manufacture jet engines, and this one will stand America's General Electric and India's Hindustan Aeronautics, and this deal will add wings to India's dream of producing jet engines domestically. It will also put India at par with 4 other nations that have the capability to do so. Which nations are these? What exactly does this deal entail? Our next report telling you. One of India's most enduring challenges in military and civil aviation has been the inability of Indian industry and research agencies to design and produce an indigenous jet engine. Until now, the Indian civil aviation industry has fully imported its aircraft. But what if we tell you that things are set to change? Look at this report. India and the United States are set to collaborate to co-produce fighter jet engines. That too in India. It is a landmark deal, which will be finalized during PM Modi's visit to the United States. The question is, who will manufacture these engines? Well, this will be a joint collaboration between General Electric Company and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. GEC is a Massachusetts-based company. HAL is India's state-owned company. Reports say they will collaborate to ensure an impressive 80% transfer of jet engine technology by value. This transfer of technology will encompass several crucial aspects of GE jet engines, like special coating for erosion and corrosion, repair technology for turbines, compression disc and blades, polymer matrix composite, laser drilling for combustion, bottle boring of shafts, among others. The US has not shared engine technology to this extent with any other nation. Not until now. The question is, what does this deal offer India? Well, a chance to manufacture fighter jets domestically. You see, India has jets, but does not have engines to power them. This is where the General Electric's F414 engine comes in, to power India's second generation of light combat aircraft, the backbone of the Indian Air Force. Currently, HAL is using a lighter GE engine for 83 light combat aircraft that is being domestically manufactured for the Indian Air Force. The plan is to produce at least 350 more fighter jets to the Air Force and Navy over the next 20 years. These jets will be powered by the GE F414. What makes the GE F414 special? Multiple features with the latest technologies. Plus, the fact that it powers a variety of military aircraft like Boeing's Super Hornet, the JAS-39 Gripen, and Lockheed Martin's X-59 Quest, which is currently under development. Interestingly, there are only 4 countries that have mastered the jet engine technology: the US, the UK, France, and Russia. India is the latest entrant to the esteemed list. With the United States and India standing at a transformative moment as far as their relationship is concerned, the deal to jointly manufacture fighter jet engines is expected to be one of the biggest deliverables of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's maiden state visit to the United States, and will serve as a major boost to US-India defense ties. So where will the engines be manufactured? HAL is yet to earmark a site. And who will benefit from this agreement? Reports say over 500 micro, small and medium enterprises. And what about the US? What's in it for the Americans? 2 things: geopolitics and geoeconomics. India is the world's largest arm importer, and it depends on Russia for almost half of its military supplies, be it tanks, fighter jets or aircraft carriers. So this deal to manufacture jet engines will be an upgrade in the strategic partnership between India and the United States. A move that can go a long way in deepening military-to-military ties. This is Molly Gambhir reporting from New York for WION World is One. And with me on the broadcast this minute is Susan Teherani in New York. She's also been tracking the reactions that have been coming in the run-up to this highly anticipated maiden state visit of the Indian Prime Minister here in the United States. Hi, Susan. Just give us a sense first of the mood on the ground. We have, of course, been interacting with Indian Americans here as well, who form a very important aspect of this visit since they are going to be gathering in large numbers, excited to welcome the Indian Prime Minister on this state visit as well. Speaking of their contribution and how they are a very important aspect as far as the New York fabric is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely, Molly. We saw how enthusiastic the Indian American diaspora was here in New York and 20 other cities yesterday as they held a unity march. But I do want to also stress that for the United States, and notably the Biden administration, with President Biden being a 2024 presidential candidate and running, the Indian American community is a very important constituent and a very important voting bloc, notably in swing states. Consider the fact that with 5 million almost Indian Americans across the country, they really not only contribute economically, but also in society and culture as well, but they also go to the ballot box. And you can see the importance of this community in the halls of Congress as well. A decade ago, there was only one member of Congress that was Indian American. Now we have 5. And then all the way to the White House, Kamala Harris being the first Indian American origin individual vice president to take helm at that position. So we see that on the one hand, and then we see since 2016, while there has been at least one candidate that has been Indian American this year, running for 2024, we have Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy being 2. So you really see not only the contribution, but the visibility of this bloc in the United States. And we can't underestimate that all politics are local. And Joe Biden was considering this when he invited Prime Minister Modi for this state visit.
Susan, the Indian Prime Minister will be leading the International Yoga Day celebrations right here in New York on the 21st of June. Speaking of which, we have been interacting with several yoga experts as well, who have talked about the very fact that this is once again an opportunity to highlight India's contribution as far as yoga is concerned. Tell us more about how prevalent the practice of yoga really is here in New York and what the locals here really feel about the practice.
Yeah, very prevalent here in New York and across the United States, really. While yoga has been practiced for many decades here, but really after the pandemic, because many people could do it on a mat, and it was something that here in New York with our small apartments, there wasn't really any equipment required. You really saw it explode online. So many businesses started online as well. But across the United States, figures say that 10% of Americans, about 35 million, practice yoga regularly. The number is a lot more for those that just practice it passively. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi bringing this to the United Nations is really a message of soft power from India to world powers at a time when, going inwards and all the things that yoga stand for really might help the turbulence of the international community. So he'll be at the United Nations for the Yoga Day celebrations, while hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals will be at New York's Times Square simultaneously practicing as well, as they do every year since Yoga Day became prevalent.
All right, Susan, thanks very much for those updates and helping us better understand. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.